How do you know if you perhaps have been putting a little bit too much stock into the kingdoms of this world? This is a test that I think will bring you some illumination as to how much you love potentially the things of this world. Have you ever read a newspaper? You'll have to Google what a newspaper is. Have you ever read an article on the internet in the Google machine, your news feed? It's something extraordinary. There's a war happening. There's rumors of war. Or you see a child murder their parent and you go, oh, that's it. We are in the end times. Have you ever done that? Might I suggest to you, if you have, it could be a sign that you are believing that where we are living, when we are living, is the most important time ever. Why? Because those signs, first of all, are not intended to be markers when Jesus is coming back, but simply reminders that he is coming back. But there's another reason this could be a tell. Did you know that each and every one of the prophetic signs that Jesus is returning, they've already happened? Like to every generation, on every continent, in every country, even ones that aren't superpowers? Why is it that we think, aha, that's it, this has got to be it? Because if it's going on in America, it's got to be the end of the age. Why? Because we have a tendency to think we're the end-all, be-all, and the reality is we are not. God is certainly aware of what is going on in Western civilization. He certainly remembers the empire of Great Britain. He even recalls the Assyrian Empire. But those kingdoms, they are temporal. They do not last, and they're not the big deal. God is building an eternal kingdom, a spiritual kingdom, and my dear brother or sister, that is the kingdom that you were brought into when you got saved, and that is the kingdom that should have our primary allegiance.
His kingdom has no connection to the kingdoms of this world. Did you get that? It has no connection. The whole world lies in the lap of the evil one. We have been delivered from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of God's dear Son. Colossians 1. Let me see if I can spell it out. The kingdom that belongs to Christ transcends the world. It does not derive its power from the world. It does not derive its success from the world. It does not derive its reality, its origin, its nature, its extent, its duration from any created thing. Christ's royal title, royal authority, and sovereign power are not derived or dependent on any created person, institution, force, energy, work, effort, or right. His dominion is eternal and derived solely from his own glorious nature as the eternal Son. His rule is neither given nor taken away by anyone. His power and authority cannot, by any effort, by any assault, be diminished, limited, altered, removed, replaced. His rule is complete, comprehensive, everlasting, over time and eternity, and every soul. And none of that power comes from any created source. One day he will rule over all creation with a rod of iron in truth and righteousness, Psalm 2 and Revelation 20.
May I ask you a probing question? Are you perpetually remembering what it is you signed up for? Is it possible that Christianity in your world operates more like an app and not an operating system? Is it possible that you tap into Christianity on Sunday morning religiously when you need it, a calamity happens, you throw up a prayer, or you score a touchdown and give a little salute to the God of the universe, whatever his name might be? Is it possible that you have failed to remember that Christianity should pervade all of your thinking, all of your decisions, all of your emotions, all of your activities and all of your allegiances? Hey, you commie, what are you suggesting? That we don't care about what's going on? No, that's not at all what I'm suggesting. We certainly are aware of world events, and every individual Christian can get involved in those activities as he or she sees fit. But even as you do, we must remember this is not the kingdom that counts. I know this stuff is real, and there is genuine pain and loss and suffering and disappointment and perhaps hopes that you had for your children. They appear to not be coming to fruition because this isn't the place that I grew up in. I get it totally. No, I don't want to lose sight of that and pretend naively that those are not genuine human experiences. They most certainly are. But I must remember sovereignty and God's eternal plan. And this is not the big deal. Everything. This table right here, it's kind of a nice table. It's actually solid. I like tables. We had to search for it for quite a while. This thing is going to go up like a match that has been struck. Poof, all of it gone. The home that is important for you to shelter your family from the elements, poof, all gone. It is going to be burned up in an instant. Why? Because God is driving history toward a culmination, and it is not going to be headquartered in Washington, D.C., and the ruler is not going to be the president or Congress. Jesus Christ is going to return, and he's going to set up a physical kingdom which he is going to create out of our current spiritual kingdom. God's current kingdom, it is spiritual, made up of all believers, all times, all places, so that one day when we are resurrected, our physical bodies are built for eternity, and all of creation is made new. Jesus Christ is going to reign theocratically. And it will be the best reign ever. And you and I will be the citizens of that kingdom, and he's going to allow us to reign with him. That is the big deal. That is the point. That's what he's working on. That's what he's driving for. And when you and I take our eyes off of that, we are going to be very, very bad dinner company, to say the least. Well, thank you, Carol. I can't wait to try some of that low-sodium peppermint lasagna. Sounds delicious. Let's get to the weather, shall we? As you can see, we are going to have a massive warm front moving its way up the eastern seaboard, expecting temperatures upper 90s and low 100s. Unless, of course, you're outside of Christ. Then on Judgment Day, it is going to be hot. Back to you, Carol. Not only hot, weeping, gnashing of teeth. And so thirsty, your tongue's gonna be stuck to the roof of your mouth. You're just gonna wish for a storm to come through, which you folks down in the South can be expecting on Wednesday.